Hey, how's it going, everybody? Out here, getting ready to do some cleaning up in here. It's a mess right now. But finally got something in the other day I've been waiting on for 2 months, a little over 2 months. It's finally here. It's in this box behind me. Some of you might already know what it is, some of you don't. And some of y'all guessed interior parts. Well, I guess you could say it's interior parts. But actually, it's the roll cage for the Lark. It finally came in. So let's go ahead and tear the box apart, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it, and we'll mock it in here and see what we're going to have to do to make it work. Boy, I tell you what, it's a little warm out down. Get the fan out here through humidity. But like I said, it's finally here. The roll cage is going into the Lark. It's a 4-piece setup. We want a little bit of stability. We can always add on to it later. And when I order this, they don't exactly make one for a Studebaker Lark. So I did a lot of measuring, trying to find something that was going to come up close to what I was going to need. And I could have took my measurements, probably went somewhere, had it bent. That was probably going to cost me a little bit more. But at the end of the day, I was trying to find something that's going to be close, that we only have to do some minor modifications to it to get it to work. And so let me set the main hoop in place and see what it's going to look like and see what we're going to do to make it fit. All right, right now I'm just kind of getting everything positioned kind of where it needs to be at. Getting ready to sit the other seat in. And going to have to do a little bit of stretching here. All right, and I got the other seat in place. Now I still got to make brackets for these things, but it's kind of where I want it at. So the brackets are going to make, it's going to bring the seat up about 1.5 inches up. So what I'm going to have to do is about right in here, I'm going to have to pull this back on both sides, probably about 2 inches. Back here is not going to be too bad. I'll be able to notch that, put my plate in. So right now I'm just mocking. I mean, things are going to get moved around here. So after doing a lot of measuring back and forth, trying to find something that was going to be close to fitting this thing without actually having a custom build, I found one for a 64 to 68 Mustang. Now I already knew ahead of time it's probably going to do some tweaking on it, and which I'm going to end up doing. It shouldn't be too much, and but for the price for it, and I couldn't beat it. And so how am I going to get this to spread a little bit? The good old trusty engine hoist. Now you might ask yourself, how am I going to widen this using the engine hoist? Well, I had to do the same thing to slag hammer. The kit that was for that was for a universal A-body. And I had to do just a little bit of tweaking to bring it closer to the B-pillar side. And I ended up using the engine hoist there at the shop. Was able to spread it out just enough to give me what I needed for the seats, and was able to weld it back in. So that's what we're going to do with this one. And hopefully I've got the same luck with it. Well, I'm back out here in the garage again. Started talking about what was going on with the Lark, with the roll cage and everything. But now I got to step away from it for a few days. Got to put a motor in Barney. We did some work on her a couple years ago. And believe it or not, in the past couple years, she's already got over 50,000 miles on that engine. And hoping that it would have lasted a little longer, but she started giving up the ghost a little bit with the bottom end rattle. And she gets used a lot, guys. A lot of trailer usage, a lot of traveling out of state. And, well, instead of going back through that engine again, we went ahead and got a used engine from LKQ. It's got roughly 120,000, 130,000 miles on it. And I'm gonna get that off the truck because there's a bunch of stuff we're gonna have to take off of it. And get ready to bring Barty in. Now, a lot of y'all that have been with the channel for a while knew how bad that engine was in Barney, how clogged up it was. We cleaned it out the best we could, short taking it to a machine shop. And she really did good. I mean, great oil pressure, moved down the road, no issues. Like I said, state to state. But a lot of times those interstate miles are kind of exceeding, I guess, the recommended speed limit, and I'll leave it at that. And just to the use and the views, she finally let go a little bit. Now, she didn't go as far as throwing a rod, but she's definitely rattling on the bottom. Yeah, we probably could have took it out and put another crank in it, but decided just to go this route because I need to get this thing in, or should I get the old one out and get this one in and have it back on the road sometime next week. Now, as far as the engine that's coming out, there is a $350 cord charge on this thing. I need to talk with Brad, see maybe we just want to keep the engine and just keep it off to the side for now, and maybe go back through it down the road and just put everything brand new in it, new crank, new pistons, everything, and maybe just have it for a spare. I don't know, we'll find out. And but let's get this thing hooked up, get it off the truck, and just kind of go through it a little bit more. All right, we got it off the truck, got it in the garage. And what we're going to do now is take the straps. This is what's holding the pallet to the bottom of the engine. Get that off. We're going to get all the wiring harness off. Get the intake off. Pull the valve covers because I want to see what this thing looks like on the inside. This is an LKQ motor, and just want to see what it looks like and see if maintenance was done on it, and hopefully it's a good engine. I think this came out of a running truck, and it might have been hitting the front end. See, they got the AC compressor off of it, alternator off of it. But if you look here, the idler pulley is broke. So I wonder if something came in this way on it. But all that's going to come off. New water pump, new EGR valve. And what I mean by new is what's coming off the other engine. So right now it's hotter than Hades in here, so I'm gonna go grab my blower, get it plugged in so I get some air circulating in here, and we'll start tearing this apart. Yeah, I can see now we're gonna have stuff breaking off of it. We'll just take this off, this one unit. Just broke loose. Yeah, this is definitely no good. That one was broke. Put that in the trash pile. Saved the bolts though. Alright, I got most of the wiring out of the way. I'm gonna get the intake off. Alright, let's get it off. I already know it's going to look nasty underneath here. These Gen 3s are bad about it. The EGR system. So I'll set this here. So you can see down the holes, but that just oil. And that's from the PCV system that are on these things, which the valve is right here. And it comes back out. It jumps right back in. And you can have a motor with 20,000 miles on it, 30,000, 40,000. Pull the intake off, chances are you're going to see that inside. All right, let's get the float packs off. And yes, you can pull the valve cover with these still on. I just like taking them off. All right, these have been on here for a while. Let's see if I can get them off. Ooh, it's a little hot today. Not looking too bad. Get this side off. All right, don't look too bad at all. I mean, considering the mileage that's on it. At least somebody was keeping the oil changed, did it? So it looks like, from what I can see on the top, might have a winner. Pull a couple plugs out and see what they look like. And then go ahead and finish taking the front of the engine apart. As far as the water pump goes, because we're not using that. The idler pulleys are gone. They're going to be replaced. And should be just about stripped out. So I'm going to get these heater hoses off. Looks like she's still got a little bit in her. There we go. Water pump especially off. Went ahead and soaked the exhaust manifold bolts. I'm gonna let that sit overnight. Spray it on both sides. Basically, these things are very prone about breaking, either in the front or in the back. In this case, bolts broke in the back on the driver's side. Got a bolt broke back here, which is very common on these. I ain't had one yet. I have at least had one that was broke in it. So I'm gonna let those soak overnight. Get the manifolds off, so that way I can get the broken bolts out. Everything looks good here. Because sometimes after lots of miles and stuff like that, you'll see corrosion right in here. This stuff in here will wipe out. But the main thing is through here. She's nice and solid. So except for unplugging a couple more things. And then I'm going to change all the sensors out on this to the ones that are on the other engine, because I know those are good. And so next time you see me, we'll have Barney in the driveway getting that engine out, swapping everything over to this one, and get it back in. So it's going to be in the next couple of videos. But other than that, guys, you have a good one, a safe one, and I'll see you down the road.